Hi guys, today we are going to discuss about the most important topic, that is called web service. So what actually this web service is? Like, what is the functionality we are going to achieve with this web service? And what is the benefit that we are going to get from the web service is the main intention of this class. So, web service is nothing but a service which is published over internet. So, if I can able to prove that, for example, I want to know the temperature web service, temperature web service. Okay, so it's a global weather web service. Okay, so this service I have not developed, right? I have not developed this service using any language or .NET or Java, or by using for the purpose any language. If I simply give some city name, let's say Hyderabad I am living, and country name as India, and if I invoke this web service, then it will return the current temperature of Hyderabad and the humidity in Hyderabad in terms of a response XML. So this is the response XML of a web service. So what I am saying is, a service which is developed by anyone in the world can able to deploy that service over net, and we as a human being can utilize this service, first thing, or else any other application can also be able to use this particular get weather service. This get weather is something, a business functionality which is developed in the technology of Java web service. Okay, so what I can define this web service is a service developed and published over net for achieving meaningful purpose. So you may ask now, like, since you have told any service which is published over net is called a web service, by that can we say something like e-commerce is also a web service, or shopping cart is also a web service, or online streaming is also a web service? No, they are not the web services. Okay, rather they are called web applications. How come? You may ask, not only you told that a service which is published over net is for achieving meaning purpose, how come you are distinguishing these two things? So for this purpose, I want to demonstrate in terms of one example. Okay. So if I can make you clear that, then you can easily understand what is the difference between an web application and a web service. Okay. So let us assume we have one application server. Okay. Let me delete this one also. Let us assume we have one application server like this. This is actually application server. So I will write a name to you so that you guys can easily follow. So this is a app server 1. Okay. And I deployed a business service called which is called a business service, which is nothing but I deployed something like get products. So the main intention of this get products is nothing but this get products, what it will do is it will contact a particular DB. Okay, it will contact a DB. Let us assume this is a DB. Okay, and it will fetch results from this DB. Like, for example, I can give an example like this. I have a shopping cart application and I want to get all the mobiles from the company Apple and their rates, rating, or something like that. The description of the products. So this get products, what it will do means it will actually fetch all the Apple mobiles. Okay, and it will list serially. Okay, this is Apple iPhone, something like that, and after that it is Apple iPod, and something like it is also displays something like Apple Watch, wristwatch that is coming newly into the launching into the newly into market. So the main functionality of get products is to contact the DB and fetch all these things at a time. So once I finish developing all these things, I want to give this particular access of get products to my users. Okay, how can I can do? Very simple. I will turn this application, or I will change this application into a, what I can say is MVC application, right? Model view controller, MVC application, so that now this entire architecture of this particular application will be changing into a web application, and my users, whoever the users are there, they can simply access this particular application. So he is a user and he will simply access this application, and he will fetch all these get products from the DB, and he can able to see all the results of Apple iPhones. So this is the basic scenario. Now let us assume that my friend came to me and he said he had developed another application. This is called another application. So due to some space constraints, I am deleting this. Okay, I am deleting these two diagrams. Hope you understood this very well. So my friend came to me and he said he's developed one more application, and that application is deployed under, this is called app server 1, right? And that is deployed under app server 2. Let us assume this is called app server 2. Okay, now what he wants is, he is my friend actually. Let us consider this guy is my friend. Okay, and what he wants is, whatever the application he developed, right? Okay, whatever the application he developed, this application wants to consume this get product service, this particular get product service. Then the one option left for me is, okay, this is another application. Don't forget, this is entirely a different application which is deployed somewhere in the other country. Let us assume this is deployed in somewhere in the other country. For example, app server is there in India, app server 2 is in US. So one approach will be like, I will tell him that don't worry, I will give this get product service to your application via some kind of means of a application jar file. Okay, application jar file. So what I will do means, I will pack this get product service into a jar file, and I simply deploy that into a app server 2. We can do this very well. Why? Because means this option will work actually. This option will definitely work. But the only problem is, since as I told earlier, this application is connecting to the DB, and this application consists of its own infrastructure, which will be missing in app server 2 infrastructure, correct? So app server 2 will not have access right to the app server 1 infrastructure. So even though if I share the jar and app server 2 can call the get products, the get products internally cannot communicate with the DB, right? So this approach is proved as now it's wrong, because since there is interdependency of so many of this approach is proved wrong because there are so many of interdependencies, like with the DB and all. Then to eliminate these interdependencies and to achieve the communication among different applications or among different servers or among different technologies, when I say different technologies, this get products can be developed in Java, .NET or C++. And the application which is there here in app server 2 can be developed with C language. So web services provides a way for us to let different application servers, different languages, different things can able to communicate among themselves without any dependencies. And that is where what we have to do is, we have to plug a technology stack in between these two servers, so there should not be any interdependencies. Okay, There should not be any interdependencies, and that is where our web service will come into the picture. What I am saying is, the ideal solution for this is web service. Okay, so that is what the main intention of the web service. So hope you guys really understood this kind of terminology called web service. Not only this one, after service oriented architecture called SOA came into the existence, web services played very vital role in terms of internet era, because we not only have nowadays single application clients, right? There may be different application clients. Let us assume this is a Windows application, okay, and this is mobile application, and this is called Linux application, whatever may be the application, but the service will be only one. Like I said, the service will be only one, and this service is nothing but our web service. In short, I can call this as a web service. Okay, so when this Windows application wants to use, or Windows application client wants to use this web service, it can very well do that. When this mobile application wants to use the functionality of this web service, it can very well do that. And Linux application can also very well communicate with the web service. So our web service actually taking away from us all the integration costs that are needed for integration purpose. It is very flexible and scalable. All we need to have is one common language among all these applications, and that common language is nothing but you might have guessed by now, it's nothing but our XML. It's common language for all these applications, for Windows application, mobile application, Linux application, and even web services which is developed. So there is no translation is needed, there is no adapters are needed, so integration cost is also very less. Okay, we will discuss all these low level details in our next session, but before that, coming to the Java. Okay, Java consists of two types of applications: web service applications. So those two types are, one is called SOAP. So one is called SOAP and another called RESTful. So Java web services basically divided into two parts. Okay, one is SOAP, this is called SOAP, and this is called REST services. Guys, I'm not so much of perfect on Windows apps, so please forgive me for that. It may take some time. Okay, even though I know RESTful web services, I don't know Microsoft PowerPoint. I'm just kidding. So Java web services are divided into SOAP and REST, and there is also a specification defined by W3C consortium for this particular services, and those specifications are, if I am correct, for SOAP it's called JAX WS, and the case of REST it is called JAX. JAX RS. Okay. So these are the two specifications divided or defined for SOAP and RESTful. So remember, it's a web service, Java web service, and it is divided into two categories called SOAP and REST. Nowadays, majority of people are going for REST because it's very, like I can say, very flexible to use. It's not that they are not using SOAP, something like that, but the usage of SOAP is very much reduced when compared from 2007. Okay, at the time of 2007, it's only the one de facto standard defined for Java web services. So in the later sessions, we are going to be covered all these SOAP and RESTful. Don't worry. Hope you enjoyed this session, and if you have any questions, please let me post in my YouTube channel. And this is Sunil signing off. Thank you.